If you want to play in 1440p, high settings, and achieve well over 200 FPS, then you guys clicked on the right video. This is quite literally the best $1,000 PC that you can build for 2024 so far, and it's using all new parts. Let's get started. Do you suffer from wrist fatigue after your long gaming sessions? As a professional esports player, I definitely do. All jokes aside, I've been using Carpio wrist rest for more than 3 years now, and I couldn't have made a better choice. Taking care of your body is no joke, and your hands play a major role in this. Repetitive tasks like gaming, typing can over time cause wrist strain or even lead to carpal tunnel syndrome. That's the last thing you want messing up your hobbies and daily activities. With the Carpio G 2.0 set, my wrists sit at a much more comfortable angle, helping prevent wrist pain. Plus, it makes it super easy to glide across my mouse pad. Imagine a wrist rest, but for both hands separately. And just for our subscribers, Delta is offering a limited time deal where you can get an extra 10% off if you purchase the entire set. And we'll be giving away 2 Carpio 2.0 wrist rests on our Discord server, so make sure you guys join if you want to find out how to win. So this entire PC cost me $978, which leaves room for a fresh Windows CD key. You can get yours from anywhere you like, but I would avoid paying full price for them and instead pick them up from VIP or cdkey.com. They got Windows 10 Pro keys, but for this build, I went with Windows 11 Pro instead for only $21.66, which brings our total up to $999.66. So even with the CD key, we are still under $1,000. It's important to note that after you buy the key, just visit the user center section on the top right, then navigate to your orders and hit the View Keys button to reveal the CD key. Then just simply copy and paste this into the Windows activation settings and you're good to go. So the CPU of choice for this build is the secret Ryzen 5 7500F, which is a 6-core 12-thread processor that can only be bought outside of the US. AliExpress is usually the website people use to buy the CPU, but you can find it on other Chinese websites as well. I happen to pick mine up for $124.17, but do keep in mind that these prices always fluctuate. The 7500F is a monster budget processor that sadly didn't get a lot of coverage, partly because it's not available in the US. But this CPU performs exceptionally well, even when compared to the Ryzen 5 5700X, which is AMD's last-gen 8-core processor. And it even dethrones the i9 9900K in a lot of the bigger and heavier AAA titles. And when you actually compare the CPU to its direct competitor, the i5 13400F, it's actually 10% faster on average at 1440p resolution and 12% faster in 1080p. The only downside with the CPU is that it doesn't come with a stock cooler, which isn't really a big deal because with this budget, we can really go with any aftermarket cooler that we want, especially since it doesn't take much to cool the 7500F. There are a ton of options you guys can go with, but I personally decided on the Thermal Allright Assassin Spirit because of the price and color scheme. So this features 4 copper heat pipes, a 120mm RGB fan, and really nice RGB accents which can be controlled with the motherboard's ARGB header. This cooler is going for around $26 and it's going to fit perfectly with our PC's color scheme. Which, by the way, the entire system, including the cooler, plays really nicely with the ASRock Polychrome software. With this app, you can practically change the colors to anything you want, and so far I've had no issues with it. Now, the motherboard is a crucial component to every budget PC. You don't want to cheap out and buy something that has no features, minimum connectivity, and no upgrade path. But at the same time, you don't want to spend a lot of money because you're on a tight budget. Well, the ASRock B650M Pro RS Wi-Fi is the perfect board that has it all and it doesn't break the bank. I actually picked this up for $90 on Newegg because it was an open box. I always recommend everyone to buy an open box version if there's one available because you save a ton of money simply because it's not sealed. Like, you're still getting a brand new motherboard. The only difference is it doesn't have the sealed factory tape on there. In fact, this was such a good deal, I ended up buying 3 more for future budget builds. I mean, this board has everything. Amazing VRM coverage, 4 DIMM slots for future expandability, onboard USB-C connectivity, and Wi-Fi connectivity. I mean, you get all of this for $90. And at the time of making this video, the deal is still active on Newegg. So do not sleep on this, even if you're not building a PC. Personally, I would snag one before it gets sold out because a brand new sealed one goes for, I think, $150. But of course, you know, this is YouTube, so I will leave you guys an alternative option in case this does get sold out eventually, which it will. My second choice would be the Gigabyte B650M, and my third choice would be the MSI B650MP. Both are going for $120, bringing the total cost of the PC just above $1,000, but do keep in mind that these do not come with built-in Wi-Fi, and you would have to spend an extra $10 to buy an adapter. For memory, we are throwing in a nice and fast 32GB kit from Silicon Power. These are the X-Power Zenith Gaming with 6000 MHz and Seal 30 timing, which is pretty much the standard now for AM5 builds. A lot of the newer games require more than 16 gigs of memory, so if you're building a PC in 2024, I strongly recommend going with at least 32 gigs of memory to future-proof your system. Also, these sticks play really nicely with the motherboard, and I was able to achieve the full XMP overclock without any issues at all. Just simply navigate to the OC Tweaker tab, then go into the DRAM profile configuration, and change the profile setting to XMP1, which will overclock the memory to 6000 MHz. After that, you can save changes and restart your PC. For storage, a 1TB M.2 SSD is basically the minimum right now, considering how large the game files are becoming in 2024. I was able to fit in a 1TB Gen 4 NVMe drive from Sabrent for around $56. But M.2 prices are still going up, so if this is out of stock or the prices are higher, I recommend picking up the Crucial P3 Plus instead for a few dollars more. You're gonna need a small precision bit screwdriver to install the NVMe SSDs. If you guys don't have one, I highly recommend grabbing this 150-piece kit, as it comes with all the bits you need for any task around the house, plus it comes in handy for building PCs. It also makes a great gift for the holidays coming up. I'll drop a link below if anyone is interested. This brings us to our graphics card. I was able to comfortably fit in a brand new RX 7800 XT in this PC. Specifically the ASRock Challenger, which goes for around $470. Of course, I had to use some of my magic and mod the card so that it blends in with the color scheme of the PC. So I took it apart, spray painted the shroud and the backplate in white. I didn't paint the fans this time around because I didn't want to throw off the balance, and besides, you can't really see the fans anyways after it's installed inside the PC. Painting PC parts are a very simple process that I've shown many times in my past videos. If you guys are interested in learning how to take apart yours and paint it, I'll leave a link to one of my favorite videos down below. So the reason why I went with the 7800 XT is because it's the best performing card for a $1,000 budget. It outperforms the RTX 4070 in 1440p and sits just under the 4070 Super in the 12 game average. If you're building a PC with a $1,000 budget, there should be no other card in your system other than a 7800 XT. Now, if you want to go with the used route and get more performance, I would try and find an RX 6950 XT for less than $500 instead, but do keep in mind you're going to need a beefier power supply for this. Now, the case we're going with this time around is the Thermaltake View 170, which is a compact micro ATX tower with dual side panels and a mesh PSU shroud. For only $65, you get a good looking case with 3 pre-installed 120mm RGB fans and 2 USB 3 ports up top. The only issue I came across while building inside this case was the location of the cutouts. For some reason, the motherboard tray is extremely narrow compared to other micro ATX cases I've built in, and as a result, the motherboard blocks all the cutouts on the right side, so you can't use it to pass through the cables. However, there is a way around this. Just simply remove these 5 screws so that you can have space to slide the cables through between the motherboard tray. You can do this for all the cables, including the 24-pin, the USB 3 cable, and SATA cables if you have any. But here's the most important part. When you go back to tighten the screws, do not fully tighten them, as you can put a lot of pressure against the cables and the motherboard itself. I recommend tightening them only by 50%. Just enough to where the board is secured against the tray, but not enough to where you are choking the cables. And lastly, cable extensions are not required to build this PC, but they really do clean up the look of the system, and they contribute to a beautiful white color scheme if you're going with a white themed build. If you're interested in picking up cables, these are the only ones I recommend going with because the sleeve quality is top tier and they have some of the best cable combs in the industry. I also recommend this 5-kit cable specifically because it comes with a spare 8-pin APS connector, and this is important if you plan on upgrading your system in the future with a motherboard that has dual 8-pin sockets. This way you'll have an extra 8-pin cable ready to go instead of having to buy another full set. Again, this is optional and purely for aesthetics. You don't have to buy the cables to complete the build, nor to achieve the same performance that we're about to see later in this video. But either way, I'll drop a link to it below if you guys want to check it out. They do come in black as well. All in all, without the cables, the total I paid for this PC was $978, plus the cost of the CD key, which brought the total up to $999 and 66 cents, just under the $1,000 mark. But that's enough yapping. Let's see what this PC can do. As expected, the PC did exceptionally well in 1440p across most of the titles, hitting a minimum of 100 FPS in high settings. Now, there were exceptions, of course, with the more demanding titles like God of War Ragnarok, Cyberpunk 2077, and Helldivers that came in just shy of 100 FPS, but do remember that these are in high settings. You can always lower the quality a bit to bump the frames above 100 FPS if that's what you prefer. With that said, there were still a lot of competitive titles that easily hit 200 FPS in 1440p high settings, like Apex Legends, Rainbow Six Siege, Overwatch 2, and more. So if you're a competitive gamer that likes to play in 1440p, this is the perfect PC for you. Of course, gaming in 1080p will net you the most frames as we saw in the gaming benchmarks, but I wouldn't recommend downscaling, and here's why. This PC can easily get you close to 100 FPS, if not more, in the demanding titles, which is plenty enough to experience story-driven games in 1440p. And if you're a competitive gamer, you can easily hit 200 FPS minimum in 1440p, which is more than plenty if you're a sweat. I wouldn't go with this PC if you guys are looking to game strictly in 1080p. It is absolutely an overkill. Instead, I recommend going with my $800 budget PC that I did a few months ago. I'll drop a link to that video below if you guys want to check it out. Temps-wise, the system runs extremely cool and silent. Both CPU and GPU stayed consistently under 70 degrees Celsius, with the exception of a few demanding titles where the GPU peaked at 71 degrees. But let me just say, guys, this is the most silent PC I have ever built. This is how quiet the PC is. If you want to build this exact same PC, I'll drop a link to all the parts used along with my build guide, which will guide you step by step from start to finish on building any PC. And after you're done building one, well, you're gonna need a mousepad to game on. You can help support the channel by picking up one of our new badass designs from our Season 12 collection, like the AR-15 in black, which is currently our top seller. This also comes in white, brown, and blue, or you can pick from a plethora of other amazing designs from our store, techsourceshop.com, or simply make your very own custom one. If you guys are new here and you're enjoying the budget builds, consider subscribing because I got a ton more coming your way. And also, let me know in the comment section what budget I should focus on for the next budget build. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you very soon in the next one.